What is going on, guys, and welcome to CSS tutorial. In this video, we're going to look at 3 ways how we can actually add CSS to our website. Now, we have been all the time covering this internal style sheet where we actually create a style tags over here in the head element, and within the style tags we created a selector, and then we had a property and a value, right? Now we can always do the inline style, right? Over here we would, let's say we would write a style attribute like this, and then over here we would have to write value. So I would say font size over here, and I would put a colon over here, and then I would say, I don't know, 40 pixels, right? So now I have 40 pixels the font size. Now here's the problem. Let's say if I have 3 paragraphs or 20 paragraphs, 100 paragraphs, this doesn't make sense that I have to go each element line by line and actually adding style, because that the whole point is why we're avoiding styling anything with HTML. We're just setting elements because we want to do it quicker. So therefore we have the internal style sheet where we basically are creating a selector like we did before, and again we just create font size over here and we select 40 pixels, and bam, this is what we have. Right away 4 paragraphs are changed, and imagine that there's like tons of these paragraphs. Now here's the deal. Let's say that we have multiple pages, which we're eventually going to have on our page, and we don't want to jump page by page and just start adding or styling something. We just want to have one file that is actually responsible for that. And the way we do that is actually create an external style sheet. Now, before we do anything, let's just create another file. Let's say, I'm just going to say that this is going to be new file, and this is going to be main HTML, or let's say first HTML. First HTML, this is my web page, right? So what I'm gonna do over here, I'm just gonna copy this and just paste it to first HTML. This is gonna be my web page, and I'm gonna create some headings over here. I don't know, the greatest, the great developer over here. Right, so I'm just gonna copy this, and over here I'm great developer, and let's just copy this over here. So just like in HTML, we have created 2 pages, we haven't linked them together yet. Over here, copy, and we go to index.html, and we just paste this. So now we have 2 pages, right? So the way we actually create an external CSS sheet is we again create a new file. And over here I'm gonna write main, but I'm gonna call it CSS. And the difference is that it is a CSS extension over here. You can see that I have main and CSS. And what brackets right away does, you see that I have this extension that actually creates this little icon. So we know that it's a CSS. And we don't need to create any type of tags over here. Only thing we would need to do is actually we would just pick the selector the same way how we were doing internal. So it's a background color again, our favorite over here, and I would go with brown. And let's say for the H1 I would say that I would want, I don't know, font size, I don't know, again 100 pixels. Let's go wild, huh? So I have the external style sheet. However, you can see that nothing has changed over here, because I haven't done anything yet. I haven't attached this style sheet to my file. And the way I actually create this style sheet, I would create a link, and the attribute name would be relationship over here. And over here I would say style sheet, and you can see that it's giving me this option. And over here I would need to point where the file is located. So again, I would create a href and main CSS. And now you can see right away what happened. As soon as I added this file, my main CSS file, which is exactly the same if we would have the tags and it would be located over here. However, you can see that how much easier it is that we don't need to deal with the rest of the document. We just have our CSS separately. So we're not mixing HTML and CSS. And that would be our index.html. And if we would want to add it over here, again, we would add it in the head, within the head element, and we're just gonna paste it. And I'm pasting completely something different, pasting actually headings over here. So let's go back to the index.html, and let's just paste this style sheet over here. So if I go over here and I paste it, and you see that this is what happens. Now here's the only thing that I still want to show you is that actually there's two things that I want to show you. The first thing is I want to show you that inline style is actually overriding the external style sheet over here. So let's say I would create a style, and again I would say background color, and I would again create it blue. You can see right away that it is overriding the external style sheet. So if you set anything in inline style, that's pretty much forever. Unless you go over here and change it, it stays forever because it overrides whatever we're writing in external style sheet. Now another thing that I want to show you what we can do in brackets, there's actually called thing like vertical and horizontal splits. So you can see that, let's say we'll be working an index, right? And I'm adding, I don't know, I'm gonna add another paragraph. I am the last, oh no, you know what, let's create a link, something like that, right? So let's create a href over here, and I would say that, let's say, I don't know, I'm going to Google. I'm gonna go to Google over here and google.com, and over here we're gonna say Google. And I just deleted everything because I'm a moron. So let's just go back and create another href. So I'm gonna write over here href, and I'm just gonna say http google.com, and over here I'm gonna create a new one and Google. Okay, so now we have somewhere here with a little Google over here. And if I would want to style it, I would need to jump obviously over here in the main and open a new one, and I would say that I want to style this link and blah 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 blah. However, you can see that I can actually have here in the brackets, I have this split the editor, and if I go over here I have a vertical split, and you can see that right away I have the left side and the right side. So if I just move this file over here, you can see what happens. That if I'm just going to get rid of the sidebar, you can see that right now I have this index.html. This is what it says over here. And I have a main CSS. So this is my styling. Now it is with the live preview, it is kind of tight. You can see over here that if I'm working over here, that you can see that it's not much space, and I'm starting all the time the new lines. However, you are avoiding a little bit of the fact that you need to jump back and forth, right? That you can actually sit over here, you can look, okay, I want to style this the link, and let's say again, I'm just gonna do the, I don't know, text decoration, I would say, I don't know, line through, right? So now you can see that my little link has here line through, right? So this is the point of dealing actually if we want to have a vertical split. So again, we just go back over here and we say no split, and then we have just our main CSS or whatever the file we're using. This is going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next video.